watched a movie I hadn't seen in a while. I never watched it all the way through before. I just always caught those little excerpts of big moments in the movie. So I watched Facing the Giants the other day. That's where Brock, this one of many teammates that is probably the strongest player on the field. It's a football team if you didn't notice. But Brock, he was kind of the smart butt, and at the same time, he's supposed to be the leader. They get 3 games into the season, losing every game, and you know, everything that could go wrong would go wrong, right? Fumbles, parents not thinking the coach can do it, just trying to stick to who you are in the whole thing. The coach kind of, you know, you pull out the inspiration movie. It's pull out verses from the Bible kind of a movie, and then you take those verses and you apply them the best you can to your life. I can't tell you I know exactly what's going on, but I couldn't help but have those moments with that. And I guess for me, it was, I've always wanted to put people on my shoulders and make them better, make them stronger. And I realized over the years that I probably failed as many times as I led somebody. But he makes Brock get on his hands and his feet and crawl without putting his knees down. And they got everybody to do it for 20 yards, but not by themselves, but with someone on their back. So they put somebody on their back and they crawl 20 yards off their knees. Then they're down on themselves and they've already they're talking about the game the next week, and they're already talking about how it's just not gonna work. How they don't see themselves winning the game. And the one person was Brock who thought that. The coach looked at Brock and he says, "You think you can give me your very best for 20 yards? And put a player on your back." So the guy who asked the question before Brock got put on his back. He says, "But you're gonna do it blindfolded." And he put a blindfold on him. He says, "Why, coach?" He says, "Because I don't want you giving up right when you think that you're gonna get to the end." He says, "I want you to trust me, and we'll get to the end together, but you gotta give me your very best." So he starts going, and the guys are laughing like, "Yeah, he's not gonna do it. He's already done it once, he's not gonna do it again." Well, he makes it about to the 10-yard line, and coach keeps cheering him on a little bit more, and he's like, "You know, you're gonna give me your very best. You told me you'd give me your best." Brock, after a while, says, "It hurts, it sucks." Coach says, "I know it does, but you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going and give me your very best. You promised. You're my leader out here, you have to do this." He keeps going, and all of a sudden the guys are looking and they're like, "Oh crap." And they start standing up, and Brock starts saying, "It hurts, this hurts, coach, I can't do this anymore." He says, "Don't you give up, don't you dare give up, don't you ever try to give up. You keep going, you promised me your best. You keep going." All of his friends are starting to see him going farther and farther, and they can't believe it. They start following him. And you realize they're walking on the 20 he was supposed to make it to. The coach is yelling at him, "You can't give up, you got 20 more steps." It's like, "Coach, we gotta be there by now. I mean, I gotta be at the 50 by now." It's like, "Don't give up, you ain't done." And Brock is yelling, "It hurts, it hurts." He says, "I know it does, but you gotta keep going. You can give me your all. You promised me." He says, 10 more steps. And Brock is grunting the whole way, and all of his friends are now standing at the 50 he was supposed to make. And he says, "All right, one more step." He makes it, and he drops to the ground. He says, "Come on, coach, that's got to be the 50. I had made it by now." He pulls the blindfold off and he says, look up, Brock. You're in the end zone. Old man Ringley lived in that white house down the street where I grew up. Mama sent me over for things. Struck a friendship up. Spent a few long summers out on an old four swing. He was in the war and in the Navy. Lost his wife, lost his baby. Broke down and asked him one time, said, how'd you keep from going crazy? He says, I'll see my wife in just a little while. Asked him what he meant. He looked at me and smiled. He said, I'll raise my head, bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth from the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. I believe. 2 years later, went off to college. Talking to Mom on the phone one night, got all caught up in the gossip, the ins and outs of small town life. By the way, son, old man Wrigley has died. Later on that night, laid there thinking back, thought about a few long lost summers. Didn't know where to cry or laugh. There's ever anybody deserved a ticket to the other side, it'd be that sweet old man that looked me in the eye. He said, I raised my head, I bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth from the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to life than just what I can see. I can't quote the book, the chapter or the verse. They tell me it all ends in a slow ride in earth. I know I'm more and more convinced the longer that I live. No, this can't be, no, this can't be, no, this can't be all there is. Lord, I raise my head, bow my head. I'm finding more and more truth from the words written in red. They tell me that there's more to this than just what I can see. I believe, oh, I believe, oh, I believe. I believe. I believe. Oh, I believe. Brooks and Dunn.